Welcome back to ABC GH Spoilers channel. Today we will learn about the intriguing developments unfolding in Port Charles, where character dynamics are shifting dramatically and tensions are reaching a boiling point. Christina's disturbing strategy and Sonny's health crisis. Christina Corinthos Davis is about to embark on what can only be described as a disturbing strategy before this week concludes. The daughter of Sonny Corinthos has always been impulsive, but her latest actions may have far-reaching consequences for multiple Port Charles residents. Her determination to push her father toward retaliation against Ava Jerome demonstrates her growing assertiveness, though perhaps with a concerning lack of foresight about potential repercussions. Speaking of Sonny Corinthos, his health situation has become increasingly precarious. The stress of recent events will culminate in a dramatic collapse due to his ongoing heart condition, a frightening development that places him in an extremely vulnerable position. What makes this situation particularly dangerous is that Ava Jerome will be the only witness to his medical emergency, creating a perfect storm of vulnerability for the typically powerful mob boss. The irony of Sonny being at the mercy of his former flame and frequent adversary cannot be overstated. Ava, who has often been on the defensive in their contentious relationship, suddenly finds herself with unprecedented leverage over Sonny. This power shift could dramatically alter the dynamics between these long-standing characters, potentially setting the stage for Ava to either show unexpected compassion or exploit Sonny's weakness for her own advantage. Ava's power position and Lucas's financial dilemma. Ava Jerome's storyline takes several interesting turns this week. Beyond witnessing Sonny's collapse, she will also engage in a meaningful conversation with Lucas Jones regarding finances. Lucas appears determined to distance himself from certain monetary assets, likely connected to the notorious Cassadine fortune. His reluctance to accept these funds speaks volumes about his character development and desire to forge his own path. Lucas may well advise Ava that severing ties with Cassadine wealth would be beneficial for her own well-being. The Cassadine name has consistently brought chaos and destruction to Port Charles, and Lucas seems to recognize that any association with their resources inevitably leads to complications. This conversation could potentially spark a period of self-reflection for Ava, who has often been drawn to power and wealth despite the accompanying dangers. Meanwhile, Ava's position of power over Sonny represents a fascinating reversal in their relationship dynamic. For years, Sonny has maintained the upper hand in their interactions, but with him literally at her feet during a medical crisis, the tables have dramatically turned. How Ava chooses to respond to this situation will reveal much about her current moral compass and whether she has evolved beyond pure self-interest. Elizabeth's investigation and Portia's blackmail situation. Elizabeth Baldwin takes center stage in her own compelling storyline as she conducts what amounts to an interrogation of Rick Lansing. Her primary concern revolves around Portia Robinson's blackmail predicament, a situation that has grown increasingly complex and dangerous. Elizabeth's protective instincts are clearly engaged as she presses Rick for information that might help her friend. The relationship between Elizabeth and Rick has always been complicated by their history, making this interaction particularly charged with unspoken tensions. Elizabeth likely recognizes that Rick's legal expertise could be invaluable in resolving Portia's crisis, but getting him to cooperate fully may prove challenging. Her approach will likely combine appeals to his better nature with subtle reminders of their shared past. Elizabeth's predictions about Portia's situation worsening without proper intervention demonstrate her insightfulness and concern. The blackmail plot threatens not only Portia's professional standing but potentially her personal relationships as well. Elizabeth's determination to help navigate this crisis showcases her loyalty and willingness to advocate for those she cares about, traits that have defined her character throughout her time in Port Charles. Lulu's career decision and Tracy's manipulations. In a surprising professional development, Lulu Spencer has decided to resign from her position at Deception. This choice likely stems from her desire to avoid further confrontations with Brooke Lynn Quartermaine, suggesting that their working relationship has deteriorated beyond repair. Lulu's decision reflects her growth and unwillingness to remain in toxic situations, even if it means sacrificing career opportunities. However, Tracy Quartermaine may have other ideas regarding Lulu's employment status. Known for her manipulative tactics and determination to control family matters, Tracy will likely pressure Lulu to reconsider her resignation. This intervention creates an interesting dilemma for Lulu: stand firm in her decision and potentially alienate a powerful family member, or acquiesce to Tracy's demands at the cost of her own peace of mind. Tracy's meddling extends beyond Lulu's career choices. She's also actively investigating the sudden departure of Lois Chiarullo to Bensonhurst, pumping Brooke Lynn for information about this unexpected development. Tracy's suspicious nature has been triggered by the apparent hostility between Brooke Lynn and Lois, leading her to suspect there's more to the story than meets the eye. Her probing questions will likely increase tensions within the already strained Quartermaine family dynamics. Emma and Joe's plan and Ned's plotting. A more hopeful storyline involves Emma Drake and Giovanni Gio Palmieri, who have been collaborating on a solution to an ongoing problem. Their brainstorming sessions have apparently yielded promising results, with both characters expressing optimism about their plan's potential to save the day. This development likely connects to the Quartermaine crypt situation, which has become an unexpected focal point of drama in Port Charles. The partnership between Emma and Gio represents a refreshing alliance amid the various conflicts erupting throughout town. Their collaborative approach and problem-solving attitude provide a counterbalance to the manipulation and scheming prevalent in other storylines. Whether their plan succeeds remains to be seen, but their positive intentions stand out against the backdrop of more self-interested machinations. Meanwhile, Ned Quartermaine is engaged in some plotting of his own. His schemes could be directed toward multiple goals: repairing the fractured relationship between Brooke Lynn and Lois, addressing the mysterious Quartermaine crypt situation, or possibly both simultaneously. Ned's strategic thinking has always been one of his defining characteristics, and his current machinations will likely have significant implications for family dynamics moving forward. Carly's risky romance and Jocelyn's training challenges. After being discharged from General Hospital, Carly Spencer wastes no time in seeking out Jack Brennan for a crucial conversation. Despite Jason Morgan's repeated warnings about the dangers of this relationship, Carly appears determined to follow her heart rather than heed caution. This pattern of behavior is quintessentially Carly, prioritizing emotional connections over practical safety concerns, even when the risks are substantial. Brennan might initially assume that Carly intends to end their relationship given the danger he's inadvertently brought into her life. However, her insistence that he hear her out suggests she has a different perspective to share. Carly's refusal to cower in fear speaks to her resilient nature and unwillingness to let threats dictate her personal choices, even when those choices place her in potentially perilous situations. In a separate but equally revealing storyline, Jocelyn Jacks faces scrutiny at the WSB training center when Vaughn discovers she's been concealing a twisted ankle for 2 days. This revelation provides insight into Jocelyn's character, specifically her determination and perhaps stubborn refusal to acknowledge limitations. While Vaughn might admire her dedication to training, he's likely to emphasize the importance of honesty regarding injuries, as concealing them can lead to more serious complications and undermine the trust essential in their professional relationship. Jocelyn's behavior mirrors her mother Carly's tendency toward self-reliance, sometimes to a fault. Both women demonstrate remarkable strength and perseverance, but also share a reluctance to acknowledge vulnerability or accept help from others. This parallel highlights the complex mother-daughter dynamic and suggests that Jocelyn has inherited not only Carly's resilience but also some of her potentially self-destructive tendencies. As these various storylines unfold and intersect, Port Charles continues to be a hotbed of drama, intrigue, and unexpected alliances. The coming days promise to deliver shocking developments that will test relationships, challenge loyalties, and potentially alter the town's power dynamics in profound and lasting ways. Next, We will learn about the intriguing mystery surrounding Jack Brennan and his potential involvement in the explosive attack on Sonny Corinthos' residence. This captivating storyline has taken Port Charles by storm, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats as they try to piece together the clues. The WSB Training Facility Revelation. Jocelyn Jack's experience at the WSB training facility has become a pivotal moment in this unfolding drama. During what appeared to be a routine lie detector assessment, Vaughn posed several probing questions that would ultimately lead to a startling development. The atmosphere in the room was tense as Jocelyn maintained her composure under pressure. "I don't blame Sonny for what happened to Michael," Jocelyn insisted firmly, her voice unwavering despite the emotional weight of the situation. "The person who planted that bomb is responsible." This declaration prompted Vaughn to ask a seemingly innocuous yet profoundly significant follow-up question: what would you do if you came face to face with that person? The timing of what happened next sent shockwaves through the audience. In a moment that could hardly be coincidental, Jack Brennan appeared around the corner, observing Jocelyn through the window with an intensity that raised immediate suspicions. The camera lingered on his expression, allowing viewers to search for any hint of guilt or calculation in his eyes. This careful staging by the directors seemed deliberately designed to plant seeds of doubt about Brennan's innocence. Analyzing Brennan's suspicious behavior. The timing of Brennan's entrance into the interrogation room following this loaded question cannot be dismissed as mere happenstance. His decision to approach Jocelyn at precisely this moment raises significant questions about his potential involvement in the bombing incident. Was this a calculated move to gauge Jocelyn's reaction, or perhaps to manipulate the situation to his advantage? Brennan's body language during this encounter deserves careful scrutiny. His seemingly casual demeanor might mask deeper anxieties about being discovered. The writers appear to be constructing a narrative where Brennan's actions become increasingly suspicious when viewed through the lens of potential guilt. Professional interrogators often note that guilty parties frequently insert themselves into investigations, either to monitor progress or to deflect suspicion. Brennan's presence at this critical moment of Jocelyn's questioning aligns disturbingly well with this pattern of behavior. The missing incendiary device. Adding another layer to this complex situation is the revelation from Valentine Cassadine regarding a missing shipment of incendiary devices originally destined for the WSB. This sophisticated explosive technology would require someone with specialized knowledge and connections to acquire and deploy effectively. Valentine's information suggested that while the identity of the hired hitman might be known, the mastermind behind the attack remains shrouded in mystery. This creates the perfect scenario for someone in Brennan's position to orchestrate such an attack while maintaining plausible deniability. If Brennan is indeed responsible, his methodology demonstrates a concerning level of calculation. By potentially working through intermediaries and creating multiple layers of separation between himself and the actual bombing, he would have established a sophisticated framework designed to protect himself from suspicion. Valentine's questionable reliability. We must consider Valentine's role in this narrative with healthy skepticism. His conversation with Sonny occurred under duress following a break-in, and his history of manipulation is well documented. Valentine's survival instincts would naturally lead him to provide information, whether accurate or misleading, that would secure his immediate safety. Valentine would have said anything to extract himself from that dangerous confrontation, noted one longtime viewer in an online discussion forum. This assessment rings true given Valentine's established character traits and self-preservation instincts. The question becomes whether Valentine's information about the missing explosive device contains elements of truth despite his questionable reliability, or if this represents another layer of misdirection in an already convoluted situation. Jason's ominous predictions. Perhaps most concerning for Brennan's future are Jason Morgan's recent predictions. Jason's intuition about dangerous situations has proven remarkably accurate throughout his time in Port Charles, making his concerns about Brennan particularly significant. Jason has hinted at a potentially disastrous outcome for Brennan, suggesting that current events are building toward a reckoning. If Brennan is indeed responsible for the attack that injured Michael, Jason's involvement could signal a dangerous turning point in this storyline. The writers appear to be constructing a narrative where Brennan's potential guilt will eventually be exposed, leading to severe consequences. Jason's predictions serve as foreshadowing for viewers, preparing them for dramatic developments in upcoming episodes. The art of misdirection. While the evidence pointing toward Brennan seems compelling, we must acknowledge the possibility of misdirection. General Hospital's writers have a long history of establishing apparent culprits only to reveal unexpected twists later in the storyline. This technique creates engaging television while maintaining narrative tension. The current focus on Brennan could be setting up viewers for a shocking revelation that someone else entirely was responsible for the bombing. Several other characters have motives to target Sonny, and the true perpetrator might be someone currently flying under the radar. This possibility adds another dimension to the viewing experience as audiences attempt to separate genuine clues from red herrings. Looking ahead, Brennan's future. As this storyline continues to unfold, Brennan's character appears to be approaching a critical juncture. If he is indeed responsible for the bombing, the revelation of this truth could dramatically alter his trajectory in Port Charles. The writers have promised more Brennan curveballs in upcoming episodes, suggesting that whatever the truth may be, viewers can expect surprising developments. This narrative approach maintains audience engagement while allowing for multiple potential resolutions to the current mystery. Whether Brennan emerges as the confirmed culprit or is eventually exonerated, his character has become central to one of General Hospital's most compelling current storylines. The careful placement of clues and the strategic timing of revelations demonstrate the writer's commitment to crafting a mystery worthy of the show's storied history. As we continue to follow this intriguing storyline, one thing remains certain: the truth about the bombing of Sonny's penthouse will eventually come to light, and when it does, the repercussions will reverberate throughout Port Charles for episodes to come.